Thank you so much. It's so great to be here in Butte today. And, I have to say that, I've been ever since the general election kind of slipped into high gear, I've been to Missoula and Bozeman and Billings and Lewistown, Great Falls, and of course, today here in Butte. And I have to say, I have never seen this kind of energy throughout the whole state. People are fired up like I've never seen before, and it is so gratifying for me to see. Thank you all for being here. As Jeff mentioned, of course, I've been a performing artist for all these years, and the first question is that why would you want to do this? Why in the world would you ever want to do this with all that BS going on in Washington, D.C.? Well, first of all, who better than a Montana kid, a Montana ranch kid, to clean up messes, both literally and figuratively speaking, right? Well, the thing is that I come to this whole thing not as a politician rising through the ranks. I've been a voice for Montana from behind a different kind of microphone, and I really feel like this is the House of Representatives, and that's what this House has meant. I really feel like I've been representing the state of Montana for all my life. More cord here. Okay, thank you. I think I know how to operate this cord a little better. Montana is a land of untold beauty, but it's a country that can be unforgiving for those who are not hardy and resourceful. But we could not be more diverse here in the Big Sky country. But with all of our diversity, we've learned that we have strength in that diversity. We're neighbors to each other, and we rely on each other. And when we have disagreements, we counsel together to work out our differences with respect. We know that if life under the Big Sky doesn't work for everyone, it doesn't work for anyone. Excuse me, I'll take a little glass of water here. Since I've been doing this campaign, I first went to Helena, and I picked up that nasty flu bug that's going around. Anybody else get this one? I know, it's been the worst, hasn't it? Apparently they exchange much more than ideas over in Helena. Thank you. But, the thing is that's what I love about the Big Sky country. We exclude no one, regardless of race or religion or gender, orientation, or ethnic origin. That's one of my favorite things. Montana has often been described as not necessarily a state, but a community with really long streets. And for the last 2 months, I've been traveling these highways, and I know these roads very well. And I can tell you that the issues that are most concerned to every Montanans do not know party lines or eastern or western geographies. I really feel that we as Montanans have so much more in common. We have a lot of common ground. I would say that we agree on 80% of the issues, and I think it's really those hot button issues that the other side is getting to focus on to kind of separate and divide us. You've probably seen all the attack ads that have been launched against me, which talking about sanctuary cities and guns. And my favorite though is that there's a kind of a PAC that's going to spend $700,000 in attack ads on me. And so the first one, it says Rob Quist out of tune with Montana politics. And I'm thinking, seriously? Of course, Mr. Gianforte, with his stances on groups that want to sell off our public lands and blocking stream access, and the fact that he hired foreign workers to come in, when he could have given those jobs to people of Montana. My point is that I challenge Mr. Gianforte to find any musical instrument he wants, meet me anytime, any place for a face-off, and we'll see who's out of tune with Montana. Woo! I want to talk about some issues that are near and dear to my heart. Speaking of public lands, I think people like him would say, when they look at mountains and streams, they would say, that would be good to own and fence in. But real Montanans would say, this is our life. hiking in the Missions, or hunting elk in the Cabinets, or pheasants in Daniels County, or fishing in the Yellowstone or the Big Hole. You know, Chief Seattle of the Suquamish said some 400 years ago that we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. There could be no greater truth in regard to this landscape. And the transfer and eventual sale of public lands is nothing more than theft against our children and our grandchildren, and I will steadfastly oppose it. You know, another issue I think we need to talk about is, of course, economic growth here in the state of Montana. And there are many ways that we can do this. This is one thing I probably agree with President Trump on, is that we need to rebuild the infrastructure, not only of this state, but this country. And first of all, I think that these are jobs that can be outsourced and sent overseas. And I think it would really pump a lot of really needed infusion into local communities. So I would have to say I agree with him on that. However, I do not agree with his stance. He is hiring people in his administration that wants to cut Social Security and Medicare. So I do not agree with him on those stances. I think one of the things that people ask me to say, what would you do when you first get to Congress? Well, I think one of the first things that I would do would be to make every election 100 days long. So, I mean, you know, you're taking congressmen away from the jobs that they should be doing. You know, they should be working for the people. And of course, all this dark money, you know, let's talk about the dark money. Special interests have had way too much influence in Washington, D.C. and for far too long. And in recent years, we have seen this dark money, you know, leak into the political landscape of Montana. And I have to applaud Governor Bullock for his transparency in elections, for his stance on transparency in elections. So that's something that I think we need to really, you know, I definitely came out just a few days ago saying that I would not take any PAC or corporate money. And I know that I have been out here touring the state, and Mr. Gianforte has been in Washington, D.C. meeting with some of these PAC members on how to pump more money into negative ads against me. So Citizens United is something that we have to repeal. I think the first committee that I would like to serve on when I get there would be the Veterans Affairs Committee, because this is personal to me. And like many of you, I lost some of my best friends in Vietnam. This was really hard for me to talk about. But you know, there's a young man that works with me who is an Afghanistan vet, and he's a broken individual, and he cannot be around people. And so when the snow melts, he's going to be up in the mountains because it's just been so tough for him to reintegrate back. And my friends in the healthcare industry tell me that this is just the tip of the iceberg. These veterans coming back are going to need lots of help, you know, both monetary and counsel-wise. Here's a program that I'm instituting. One of my best friends is also one of my right-hand men, and you probably see him perform with me. His name is David Griffith, and he's always on my right-hand side. You remember David? He's the one that can play 13 different instruments. Okay, now you know who I'm talking about. He's a wizard. Well, we've come up with a program we're calling A Band of Brothers. And the idea is to go into communities and have the communities donate musical instruments. And so we can teach these veterans how to be in a band. And you know, that's what they're missing, is that whole Band of Brothers thing. And of course, we'll teach them how to play music together. And of course, music is such a healing thing. Those frequencies that go through your body, it teaches you how to listen and when to play and when not to play. And also, the most important thing, it teaches you expression, because that's where the healing comes from, is expression. So this is one of the things we'd like to institute. Well, I don't have a lot of time today, but I just want to thank you all so much for coming out and volunteering for. I know that this is going to be something that's going to take all of us to do. You know, I can't do this alone, and I'm standing here because I want to be an independent voice for the people of Montana, and I think that I really feel like that's what I've been doing my entire life. is to be a voice for Montana. And so this is just another step. Well, maybe more like a giant leap. But I'm ready to do this. I guess when I was thinking about this, quists are always, whenever we have a big challenge in front of us, we always make a pro and con list. And so on the con side, of course, I know it's going to be all the negative waves that are going to be coming against me and my family. And I'm kind of amused by it because I know that anybody that we standing in my position, that negativity would be directed at them. So I'm not taking this personal. I know that they're just trying to silence our voices, all of our voices. That's their game. But I know my family takes it very personally. And so, they love me and they can't stand to say anything negative about me. One thing I will tell you is that in all the polls that have been done, I think that Mr. Gianforte has a negative rating of 46%, and mine is 3. And I'm wondering, who are those 3? And what did I do to make them mad? Well, I know that all of you are here today because you care deeply about this state. We are all invested in the path that we as Montana will take in the coming days. And so I just, I know that I can see many of you here that I've had a personal connection with, and I can't wait to get to know the rest of you too. We are all here because, and it's great to see the fire in your hearts and the light in your eyes. And I know that if we stand together, that we cannot be denied. Today, more than ever, we must stand up and make our voices heard and hold our leaders accountable. This should be an awakening, that we must stand up and unify and march. And when you cannot stand, I will stand for you. And when you feel as if your voices are being drowned out by critics and bullies, I will stand behind this microphone to make your voices heard. It will be my great honor to serve the people of the Big Sky. Thank you so much, everybody. Stand up with me, Montana, and I will stand up for you.